Hi, hello, and welcome to KNTV. You are watching Inside Indian Football episode number 74. We are moving into a phase where we're set to get top 6 team for ISL playoff. We are set to get a team who will be in ISL next season, and national team friendlies are, just a month away now, uh, more than month. But I think there will be talks about which player should be called up, where should India, how long should be India's camp, what should be India's lineup, which player should get their debut. There are lots of stuff to talk about national team. And I think great venue announcement from AFF. Looks like the new regime is working on a different strategy, especially considering they want to involve the governments, other states which were not involved earlier. Whenever India used to play friendly, the talks of venues will be Kolkata, Goa, or Kochi, or sometime Bangalore. These are the most of the place where India has played their matches, or Bombay, for example. But I think if you guys have been watching these inside Indian football, inside Indian football from past, you will remember that I always talked about India utilizing the geographical advantage of our country, the size, and Northeast being the big advantage for us, especially if we are playing against West Asian nations. Not now for the qualifiers, and I think this is a good template which can be used in future important World Cup qualifiers games. Just imagine UAE, Saudi Arabia coming to Manipur, playing that match in hostile condition, tough. It's a high altitude, passionate fans, not easy to travel. So that will give away team a headache. And I think there are enough example in past home team using these in their advantage, and playing well and winning against big teams. So I think this is a good template if these tri series in Manipur goes well, and I think this will also ask state governments in Northeast to build infrastructure for international quality tournaments and the matches, because you can't hold FIFA World Cup qualifiers in stadiums which are not up to the FIFA mark. So there are basic requirement. There's a requirement of international airport, for example, which should be near the stadium. It should be the part of the same city where the matches are going on. So FIFA have the rule that the teams can't travel long route from the road, so their airport should be nearby, the stadium, the five-star hotels. These are basic requirements which FIFA has. And I think if we start holding these friendly games, and I think friendly games, then maybe the state governments will think about, okay, cricket is not coming to Northeast. I think we have seen it is limited till Assam. So I think football is the only global sport which will go to the Northeast, and I think this is a good work from Saji Pravakar and Kalyan Chaube to involve Manipur Chief Minister in the announcement. And I guess if you remember last week episode, I told you guys the announcement will come around 6th regarding the friendly games. And I think they were kind of taking the dates of the chief ministers, making sure there's a buzz in the local media about this. And I think this is a good, if these national team matches goes good in Northeast, this will revive the football in Northeast. I think couple of years back, let's go 2016-15 when ISL came, Northeast football was at the peak of it. There was Northeast United getting good crowd. Shillong Lejong used to get a good crowd. ISL came, made their fairy tale in I League. Niroka had a great success in terms of crowd in I League. And all of a sudden, that crowd has gone down. It's not that the passion has gone down. It's just that the activities of football in terms of the next step didn't take place in the Northeast. There was nothing after I League for Northeast. And I think this is great. I think this, you have to give a full mask to the new regime at AFF to think about it, and I have been telling this that we should explore more venues for the national team games. The cities which is already having high quality football in terms of ISL, they are as a host for the big games, but we should explore more options. And I think to think of an example, if we can bring, say, any nation where there's a cold weather, for example, Kyrgyzstan, to Kochi to play the match in a hot and humid condition, I think it's an advantage to India, or Goa, for example, it's an advantage to India. And let's take an example, if you bring UAE, Saudi Arabia to Manipur, to Mizoram, to Sikkim, for example, to Kashmir also, for example, Srinagar, it's an advantage to India again. It's our player will also face the difficulties, but as a host nation, India will have a opportunity to train more on the host city, and our players, many players are already there from the Northeast region in the national team, so they will not. It is natural, climate for them, natural situation for them. That's a great step, and I think good way to start the show today. And I think I'm very happy. Another thing I want to highlight in this Hero Try series is for our national team players. There are many players from Northeast regions who are playing for the national team, and I know for the fact in past the families of these Northeast players have not watched them live on the stadium. This is 10 years ago, because they don't used to come outside Northeast, and I think there are still many players in Northeast जिनके मॉम डैड ने, जिनके फैमिली ने उनको लाइव स्टेडियम में खेलते हुए नहीं देखा होगा. एंड आई थिंक दिस इज अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी. आई होप AIFF and everybody come together, invite all these player families to the stadium. This is a brilliant example. This can be a brilliant example to revive the culture of football in Northeast. The culture is already there. It's just that it got lost in recent time, And as I said, we'll go back to 2016-17 time. Northeast United getting full house in Guwahati. ISL FC getting crowd. The fairy tale story of winning I-League. Shillong Lejong, a talent factory for the Northeast player, getting a good crowd in Shillong. Then came Niroka FC from Manipur. First club from Manipur in I-League. Fantastic crowd. Good players coming from Manipur. And I think that got lost in between. And I think now getting these two international friendly, not the exhibition match, these are international FIFA friendlies on FIFA friendly days, two quality opposition, I will say. Of course, Kyrgyzstan will not be an easy game for India. Myanmar, India have defeated them in past in the last Asia Cup cycle under Stephen Constantine. But I think two quality teams, and I hope there will be a full crowd, and I think this will be a template which can be used Manipur as example for the next time for the Mizoram CM now, because it's sporting loving states, they will be under pressure now to organize the national team games in Mizoram, because Manipur has organized. Same with, for example, Assam, the Sikkim, these all state government will now want to talk to AIFF regarding that they want to host these national team games. And I think as this has happened, can we also take U team games to the Northeast now, because those does not mean those games will not have a as high requirement standard and the requirement as the FIFA international matches. So I think that's way we can explore the game, give Northeast the due it deserved, because the number of players Northeast have produced for India is fantastic. If the culture, if the facilities can be built in Northeast. And I think एक चीज और बोलना चाहता हूँ, हिंदी बोलूँगा कि मैं किसी से बात कर रहा था, majority academy जो इंडिया में है, the majority academies whatever wherever, 60 and 70% players on those academies are from Northeast. So just imagine a thing, if there are enough infrastructure, enough academies in Northeast, those players will not need to leave their home and come to, say, for example, Punjab, Bangalore, Udaipur, Jaipur, wherever these academies based, to play for those academies, because they will have their academies in their state, in their city, and that will also increase the participation number in Northeast, because the reason is also there. Not everybody can leave their home, education, go to the different city to play football. It's not an option for everybody. Sometimes many players drop out. They got selected in these academies, but they have to leave their home, or they have to pay hefty fees in these private academies to play for them. So I think sometimes many of these players have dropped football as a career. They went on to do the other stuff. And I think if now Manipur government is saying they're going to set up the a 5-star FIFA academy in Manipur with the support of AIFF, I think that's the way it's to go. Let's AIFF also talk to Mizoram government, Meghalaya government, Arunachal Pradesh government, Sikkim government, Assam government, and set up an academy each in these states. So these players do not need to come out Northeast just to get the basic football education. And I think if state government, just like Odisha for example has been doing for sports, and Northeast states start doing for football, I think it's going to increase the player participation. It's going to increase the quality of players also. And I think, as I already said, people say that India is a big country. We have 1.2 billion people. Why India is not playing the World Cup? The size is our disadvantage. To spread football in India, all India, including Hindi belt, is very costly affair. But to give an example, if you are a small country, for example, Croatia, to develop a Croatia in terms of a particular sport, not not much money required to build stadiums, because it's a small landmass. So you can build 3 to 4 stadium, 5 to 6 or 10 to stadium if you want to say from zero starting football. And now if you want to do in India, you need multiple stadium in single state. For example, just to give an example, Uttar Pradesh, if you want to do spread football in Uttar Pradesh, how many stadiums you need to spread that, So I think people say that, people say that India has a big population size, big country mass. Why football isn't doing? That's a big disadvantage for us. To spread football for that country, that to the 100% in India, you require lots of money. So I think instead of that, India for now, they have to do basic stuff in other state. But the reason which already football is #1 sport, like Northeast, need the higher investment than other states. So Northeast football budget should be separate than compared to say Uttar Pradesh, Haryana. Because there you need a basic budget in terms of in terms of spreading football. Northeast, you need an advanced level of budget to grow football to the next level. If it is right now semi-amateur level, you need to take it professional level. So you need academies, you need football clubs, you need local leagues, and everything. So I think because that's way it is easier to grow football and spread football, because it is the basic is already there in Northeast or in Goa or in Kerala or in West Bengal. So I think AFF have to make these kind of a circle that these are an epic center of footballs in India. It can be Northeast, it can be West Bengal, it can be, for example, Kolhapur in Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka में कुछ जगह हो सकती है, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, these are epic centers, and then these are our tier 2 cities, which can be, Delhi, for example, Punjab, can be, Jammu Kashmir, can be Haryana, and then there are tier 3 cities where there is no presence of football, but you want to spread football, Bihar, UP, these kind of stuff. And that's how I think that's how overall you give your 60% budget to an epic center, which are main, and which will start giving you result in just in next 5 to 10 years, and then give your 30% budget to the tier 1 or tier 2 cities, and give 10% to tier 3 cities, and I think that's where you can also spread football, but you keep the present development football on check, which is also very important. So I think, as somebody said, UP has 95 district and classic football academy. Randy Singh is perfect example. If and I think this is simple, not just in football, in everything, education wise. I come from a state which was a developing state in India, which didn't have basic facilities till the state was formed. So if my state has a basic facility for education, I will not leave my state, go to another state to study engineering or to study my schooling. Same way football. If my state, if my city, if my district have the basic football infrastructure, I will not leave my I will not leave my state or my city or my district to go to get a basic education. Odisha ka west mein already football hai, only good academy needed, and I think that's where maybe Odisha FC have to come, and they already partner with Odisha government to figure out what they need to do in the other states. So I think finally we are moving towards where a government or a private partnership or government or AFF partnership can help football to spread across. So I think it's a great, looks like abhi tak dates nahi aayi hai, but I was figuring out, considering we're a host nation, I think India should be playing first game on 22, and then India should be playing last game on 26. So 24th should be between Myanmar and Kyrgyz Republic, on the 24th, and that will give India 3-day rest in between, and India should have first game. I think ideally India should play Myanmar on 22, because considering Myanmar is an easier opponent, and then India should play Kyrgyz Republic on the 26th. Kyrgyz Republic is 94 in FIFA ranking, important game for India to get the FIFA ranking points. So, and Myanmar is 159 in the FIFA ranking. So I think, you have an easier game first and then tougher game second. So that's where your player will be having more coordination, they will know each other better if their new players are called. AFF को कितना पैसा मिलता है स्पोर्ट्स बजट से ऑफिशियल डेटा AFF used to get around 30 crores from the side, and it's not that it's a fixed budget, it's depending on the invoices AFF raise. They will get approval for various exposure to coaches salaries and everything. So for example, head coach salary is paid by SAI, Sports Authority of India, so they have to raise invoices, and accordingly, and we have those access to those documents, all the coaches salary. And I think if you guys remember one of the videos I have done, I have told what kind of salaries the coaching staff of Indian team are getting. I think let me go through my notes. I think it was 2 or 3 episode back, if you guys remember. I think we should have somewhere here the goalkeeping coach salary, the fitness coach salary, and ego match salary is kind of 90, 67, 80% is paid by Sports Authority of India. Yep, yeah. So ego match is paid around approximately in and around 20 lakhs rupees per month. So which will make it around I think 2.4 crores a year. A fitness coach is paid around 5 lakh, and these are approximately, I'm changing figure, I'm not telling you the accurate amount. The fitness coach of national team, men's team, is getting around 5 lakh rupees a month, so which is around 60 lakh rupees a year. The goalkeeping coach is also in the similar range. So that's how and these money it comes through SAI to pay the head coaches, and they also pay the women's coach salary. So I think that's way, and you can't say that football should get majority of the sports budget, which have been a talk, which has been the talk in football circuit, that football is a big sport, but because as a government you will be judged based on the success in the international tournaments, so which is Asian Games, Olympics, Commonwealth Games and everything. So of course the budgets varies. To give an example, people might say that the amount of money which India government has spent on Neeraj Chopra could have been developed a team sport or anything, but then Neeraj Chopra has given a Olympic gold medal to India. So I think the government will say that's worth the investment because Neeraj Chopra has brought the gold medal for the India. So I think these are the pro and cons, but they have to give majority of the budget where they feel can get an international medal, because that's how the government will be judged, because government ultimately is using taxpayer money. Even how much we want football to develop, we can't say that give 60% of the sports budget to the to the football. That will be not appropriate, that will be not feasible for other sports. So I think it's great. I don't think Kumpan Lampang Stadium has a floodlight. So what will the time? I think mostly it should be evening. I have to check about floodlights, because last I heard the floodlights work was going on, Bhargav. So I have to check. Let's see who will be coach of India 23. AFF calendar showing under 20 senior team will have action same time. Do you get answer the coach? I have checked upon Harsh. I think they're looking for it. They will have somebody coming from the two. It has floodlight. I think last I checked the work was going on. Next national team manager young होना चाहिए. Young से क्या होता है? अच्छा होना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से. Sir, I feel I want these friendly matches to be held in non-friendly footballing states to popularize football. I think Genjulin, I think that's, I agree that you have to popularize, but I think these Super Cup games can be given to those states. National team matches, आपको it's like a cherry on top of a cake, and ये उन states को मिलना चाहिए जहाँ football is a priority, and जिन state governments के लिए football priority है. अगर मणिपुर government पैसा लगा रही है football के लिए डेवलप करने के लिए, तो उनको ये लेवरेज देनी चाहिए कि फुटबॉल हो रहा है. सेम वे आप देखोगे कुछ सालों से हॉकी इंडिया में सिर्फ उड़ीसा में हो रहा है, एंड देयर इज ऑफ कोर्स पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव वाइब्स अराउंड इट. पीपल से दैट इट हैज स्टॉप hockey development in other state, but then Hockey India have an argument that it's Odisha government which is helping them to build these hockey infrastructure, grow hockey in terms of financial, in terms of budgets and everything. The kind of stadiums they build for hockey is fantastic. So you have to award those state governments, if they're doing it. So if Manipur government say we are committing 100 crore rupees funds to the football development in Manipur, which will be there for stadium, academies and everything, so AFF has to give them back in terms of giving these international games. So I think so that's how the partnership between AFF and the state governments will work. I think that's the only way. AFF should divide state FA in 3 zones: greens, transition and football diet zone. That's what I'm saying, there should be epic centers of football. We know football is the number one priority for this set of population, this set of state, where our focus should be for next 5 to 10 years. That will give us instant result. Of course, we can't neglect football dead zone for next 50 years. So the growth where there will be very slow, but which are the epic center, which are the green zone according to Dark Knight, should have the priority in terms of football development in for next to 5 to 10 years. India पिछले 2-3 साल में India हर एज ग्रुप में SAF कंट्री से कुछ ड्रॉ खेली, कुछ हारी. इन ओपिनियन दे आर कैचिंग अस or we are playing bad. Ankur Jain. So we'll come to the SAF also. So I think this is the national team update, the national team friendlies, and my thoughts over it. The India under 20 women's team has lost against Bangladesh, played a draw against Nepal, and this is the same team which played the World Cup for India, so which has taken majority of the funds in terms of women's team in recent time. And people who knows me will know that I have raised the points to go back 2017 FIFA Under 17 World Cup. India played that same batch, played under 19 World Cup qualifiers, didn't qualify for the under 19 under 19 Asia Cup qualifiers, did not qualify for the under 19 Asia Cup, and I told that's a big failure. Even you want to host tournaments, your batch, overall batch, should be good enough to qualify to the Asia level at least. And same way, the under 17 women's Asia Cup World Cup happened in India. Same batch played in under 20 the SAF Championship, lost against Bangladesh. Started the game well, played very bad in terms of overall against Bangladesh. Played a draw against Bangladesh, lost against Nepal, and I think losing against Nepal will always hurt me. जो लोगों को पुरानी history पता है उनको पता है, and I think that shows. And people say, are they catching us, or we are getting bad? I think it's a mix of both. Bangladesh has focused a lot in the women's football. That's first thing. Nepal, of course, they take pride in their football in terms of national team, and especially when they play against India, they play 120-200% compared to other games. The second thing is India has, in recent time, not this regime, I will say next 3 to 4 years, for the national team, youth team, they have narrowed down the pipeline of the talent. In terms of selecting the player, there's a limited pool of players who are getting selected for national team at under 16, under 19, under 23 level. What is happening also now, it's changing, by the way. Next 3 to 4 years ago, what's happening, the player who played for India under 16, the same batch goes to play under 19. They're hardly a new additions. 3 to 4 players gets added, but not lots of change there. And same player goes to play for under 23 because AIFF, the previous regime used to take pride that these players came through AIFF Youth Development Program, YDP, and they used to do lots of PR around it. This is a part of our youth development program. These players have come through India under 14 rank, under 16 rank. Who cares? If that player is not top player at under 19 level in India, should not be playing under 19, just because that particular player has come through AIFF YDP program, should be given reservation at the under 19 level over the players who are doing very well for other academies or other clubs. So I think now it is changing, but it will take a time to take an impact. So this is a mixed bag result in terms of youth development program India has done recent time. They have narrowed down the selection. The overall players who are getting selected for India are limited to 30-40 players. The pool of talent at each level for India should be minimum 120 players. National team at any level should be selected minimum I'm saying 120 players. It's same with the national team at the senior level. Once we have that, I think then maybe we will be best in the tier 2 Asian teams. When we have 120 players to select at particular level, then maybe we'll compete for top 12 spaces in Asia. I don't think India have 120 players at the senior level right now. Leave aside the youth level, So I think that's the overall channel for to select these players need to be, grown, and that's what India is changing now. Bibiano Fernandes, for example, the under 17 team preparing for the AFC qualifiers, there are new addition in every new squad whenever they announce. That Bibiano was very keen to do under 17, under 16 league before AFC Cup, AFC final round or qualifiers, because he wanted to see more players, and he has selected more players. To give an example, Zinc Football Academy, which went to the semi-final of the under 17 league, they have now 2 to 3 players in the India team. So I think that's what need to be changed. Your national team should be improved, should be upgraded. Just because the particular player has come through your own system, the AIFF system, that should not stop you getting a better player and upgrade your national team. So I think the SAF under 17 team, I will say the whole focus AIFF was just on one batch. FIFA under 17 World Cup, same batch went, and the overall selection pool should be increased. And it's not that just Bangladesh and Nepal have become too good overnight, it's just India have also declined. And there is another thing which I want to highlight about the selection and whatever. There's a politics before the previous regime for the women's team. I also want to question people, sometimes women's football, it's need a highlight from media, from fans and everything. But sometimes people, they sometimes suggest that women's team are closer to the World Cup than the men's team. And I have keep on saying this is not a fake information, but this is people are trying to divert people towards something which is not true. I don't believe women's team is closer to the World Cup than the men's team. People give it कि FIFA ranking का example देते हैं कि men's team की women's team की FIFA ranking 50s में है, men's team तो 100 में है, तो we are very close. ठीक है, that's the example. But people don't also tell that women's soccer worldwide are not taken serious by many countries. So for example, even Asia now, the Middle East countries now started taking their women's team seriously. So India, which is tier 2 in Asia in women's, they used to beat team in and around their level handsomely. Bala Devi used to score hat trick and everything. But whenever India played tier 1 level teams in Asia, those tier 1 team used to beat India very comfortably. So the gap in women's team is very high compared to the men's team, and to say just that because women's team is closer to the World Cup, they need more attention. I don't believe so. Every team, men's, women's, will need a equal attention. But don't tell people that don't tell fans which are casual fans that India is closer to the World Cup in women's than men's. I think both the teams are as far as from a World Cup that it's together. India is nowhere near in the women's team in the World Cup than the men's team. It's the difference is kindly same. The development has to go together. You can't just say that because of the FIFA ranking of the difference, women's team is closer, because the level is different in the women's and the men's. So I think hopefully the AFF will review this result. They have started the youth level at the men's level to increasing the pool of the talent for the national team, and they should do for the women's team also. IWL is a big example. Can these India youth international, women's international, under 17 and 20 players can go and sign for IWL clubs, start playing it, can IWL be increased in terms of duration? It will be great. So I think and that's Munmun says, people are more interested in feel good stories. Don't know and I think sometimes it's feel लगता है कि लोगों को correct करना चाहिए, but then I feel also कितने लोगों को correct करोगे, because that's their work. Sympathy से चीजें नहीं चलती हैं. Women's football will not grow in India just because some people will try to gain sympathy. Sympathy के चक्कर से women's team को support करिए. Women's football should be grown on in terms of overall development, grassroots program, not on the sympathy. Sympathy India को World Cup नहीं जिताएगा किसी भी level में, चाहे women's हो चाहे men's हो. So that's the whole point. We have some good players in under 23. So if a particular coach will focus on them, we have a bright chance in Asia Games as well as AFC under 23 qualifiers. What do you think? थोड़ा सा conflicting है हर्ष भाई, because issue क्या है कि काफी सारे हमारे players, under 23 players are also playing for the senior team. तो वो differentiate करना पड़ेगा. Ideally ऐसा होगा कि एशियन गेम्स में, क्योंकि 3 सीनियर प्लेयर भी जाएंगे, तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि क्या पता एशियन गेम्स में ईगोस टीम मैच ही कोच करें, ट्रेनिंग भले कोई और कोच कराए, वो बाद में ऐसा भी हो सकता है. बिकॉज नेशनल टीम की जब जॉब मिलती है, इंटरव्यू होता है, उस टाइम पे ये बोला जाता है कि the senior coach is also coach of under 23 team. So let's see how AFF plans, and we have put in query for it. We'll get it the answer very soon. Let quickly I will come to a question straight away on it, but let's quickly go through the ISL results which happened in game week 19, and I think big win for Kerala Blaster. Odisha and FC Goa a draw which suited not Odisha, not Goa, but other four teams in the playoff race. But I think with Chennai losing against Kerala Blaster has kind of closed the door for Chennai FC, I think so. And Kerala Blaster has put in their one foot in the playoff. They will just need a win, one more win, and they will qualify for the playoff. I think it might be that Hyderabad winning against Odisha might help Kerala to qualify. A goal scoring 3-3 draw between East Bengal and Northeast United, and one player which has impressed me in this season with Northeast is Parthiv Gogoi. I think Imran Khan is another player who has done well Northeast in recent time, but I think these Indian people has been doing well. So I think let's see. Important game for ATK Mohun Bagan is already qualified. They play Jamshedpur FC now. Odisha Hyderabad, big game for Odisha FC. If they lose against Hyderabad, then I think their door might be also closed for them in the playoffs. So big game. They at least need a draw. And Goa is playing Mumbai City FC for their playoff hopes. So looks like it's between now Goa, and Odisha FC and Bangalore FC for and ATK Mohun Bagan also, because ATK Mohun Bagan game is also very important. They are fifth in the table. So Goa, ATK Mohun Bagan, Bangalore FC, Odisha FC is fighting for 3 slots. So one team is going to go away. So if ATK Mohun Bagan does not win against Jamshedpur FC, for example, they will be also in trouble. So the league is going to the neck now, and I think that's the one advantage of doing it top 6 in the playoff. That's bring more teams in the relevant. So if you think that it was just top 4 team, that would have also made it ideal, but that अगर सिर्फ टॉप 4 टीम्स अलाउड होती तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ ये 5th 6th 7th टीम के इतने पॉइंट्स नहीं होते. दे वुड हैव लॉस्ट होप वे अर्ली, and we would have 3 team till now who have qualified and 4th team on the verge of it. So that's the major advantage in I League. That's the story at I League now. The teams which people before the I League start, everybody have said that Mohammedan Sporting and Gokulam Kerala will qualify. Now it looks like it's between Roundglass Punjab and Srinidhi Deccan FC for the ISL berth. That's a poll going on in the comment section. Do vote and let me know, what you guys think about which team you want to see in ISL next season. In terms of recent result, I think the relegation is going also very tight. I have to check. Niroka beating Gokulam Kerala shut the door for them. So they were Delhi drawing Roundglass Punjab, was a surprising result. And Srinidhi defeating Churchill Brother 3-0 is a result which has kind of make them favorite going into, of course they played one more game than Roundglass Punjab, and the goal difference is 14. So even now, if Roundglass Punjab win their game in hand, they have to also close down that goal difference. So I think it's between these two teams. Looks like Gokulam Kerala is out of the race. So it will be interesting to see that who qualifies for the ISL, Srinidhi Deccan Football Club or Roundglass Punjab. In terms of the voting in the comment section, which you guys done, 98 votes till now, just 41 likes. So yaar, likes to equal kar do. 59% of people want Roundglass Punjab in ISL, and 41% want Srinidhi Deccan FC. So I think it's a good setup. Let me take my pen. I think it's a good setup for both the clubs to build upon. Srinidhi Deccan FC have been working on the infrastructure side in their state, in their city, where they're based out. Roundglass Punjab have a challenge if they come into ISL where they're going to play. And I think in terms of overall fans, both the teams don't have much big fan following. In terms of like other clubs, of course, in I League, for example, I think Mohammedan Sporting, or Gokulam Kerala or other I League teams from Northeast will have a bigger crowd than these two clubs. But I think these two clubs financially, I think are most appropriate in terms of financially, especially because Roundglass is a big group in Punjab. Srinidhi is a big group in big corporate group, so they can of course bring the money factor in like ISL club, as Vishnu says. So I think they have infrastructure, they want to build more, but I think only thing I want with these clubs, they remove their corporate names, Roundglass Punjab, Srinidhi Deccan FC, I think that ultimately feels like a corporate team. So I think they need to connect with the people more, fans more. So that will give, that should be the a priority from me, if you ask me. Punjab coming to ISL, given northern participant, Roundglass Punjab is a big corporate also, but they have taken some recent the decision in terms of football have been not good. But let's see. I think both the team will give different set thing to football in India. Roundglass Punjab bringing ISL in north will be great for people like us. We can travel to Ludhiana or Jalandhar to watch ISL games sometime, to meet our friends. And I think, but again, the issue is also here with Roundglass Punjab. If they play in Jalandhar, Ludhiana, the nearest airport in terms of where the flights are frequent are New Delhi. So teams have to come to New Delhi first, then take a bus to go to Ludhiana or Jalandhar, wherever they play. So I think it's important. It's important for them to make sure that they play in Punjab, not in Panchkula or not in Mohali, if you ask me. नॉर्थ ईस्ट यूनाइटेड अभी तक कोई प्रोग्रेस नहीं है अंशुमन दत्ता और दैट. सो मैं क्वेश्चंस की तरफ आता हूँ. एक अर्केश वी कुमार हैं. अर्केश भाई, अगर आप इफ यू आर इन चैट टू कमेंट, आई हैव रिटन डाउन योर क्वेश्चन विच यू हैव सेंड ऑन द इंस्टाग्राम. So we'll take those questions once I can see on a chat. Now let me take some questions straight away. And I will only request, don't spam. I will try to take each and every comment. I will scroll up and to go to take comments. So अगर आप repeat करोगे तो that will not feasible for me. To spread football, Punjab team need to win ISL because there is not a single team from North India. Manas Kuda, I got a point, but I think they have to play in Punjab for that, if you ask me. Northeast new owner, any progress? I think this club sale for Northeast will not happen over the night. People will think that, to give an example, अभी तक जो club sales हुई हैं ISL में, it has been a work in progress for 2-3 years. Then the India, then the club sales have been take place. Prince Pierre says, "Bhai, SAF India host करेगी मुश्किल है because what I have heard that only Nepal has shown interest to host the SAF Championship. So I think it's most likely to be Nepal. How many I-League teams will go into ISL? One. Should Punjab rename themselves as Chandigarh FC? I think if they want to make Chandigarh a base, I personally feel it should be Chandigarh FC. That's one thing. Second thing is, for a state like Punjab, having just one club is also, it's a big state in terms of size and everything. So I think Chandigarh FC might attract Gen Z crowd calling them Chandigarh FC, and that will give them footprint in Punjab, Haryana both, not just in Punjab. And that's my opinion. I have lived in Punjab 4 years, so I understand that. Gaming AK, what do you think? Igor got the job. How, just because less salary? See, one group decision, how affecting the nation. The technical committee should be accountable for not choosing Albert Roca. I think it's a mixed match. अब ये पुरानी बात हो चुकी है कि कैसे जॉब मिली, and I think I have given enough information in this show in past that how that process took place. But I think since he came on board, he is our coach now, I think, and he needs our support. The selection committee has been sacked. They are not there. The new committee has come up, and they have evaluated Ego's team match, and they have given the, new contract to him till the next AFC Asian Cup. So I think our priority is support him. Maybe next time, whenever the new coach come, then we raise the question on accountability. I've been keep on saying this thing, when the World Cup goes, don't ask the question during the World Cup that why India is not playing in the FIFA World Cup. Ask the question now, when the World Cup qualifier is going to start, that why India is not in the World Cup. What are India doing, AIFF, Indian government doing for World Cup qualifiers, which is going to set to start in the month of October, November of 2023. Because this is the right time to ask this question, not during the World Cup when 32 teams or, for example, 42 teams in future will play. Those are already decided 1 or 2 years before the World Cup starts. It's the time now we need to ask why India is not in the World Cup, and find out those answers, pressurize the government, the federation to take the right decision. So I think when the next time the coaching process happen, fans need to vocal about, what, and they need to ask AFF should be also release the names, which of the coaches they applied, who are the coaches who have reached the final rounds, instead of media breaking them according to source. I think AFF should be open about it. These are the 10 coaches we have shortlisted for the final round, and once they announce that this is the final coach we have announced, so I think that's how fans will not have to depend on second-hand information that who are the coaches come according to sources. Media has to write sometime. AFF should be open, and I think many international federations in other sports do that. They tell that these particular set of coaches are applied, and this is the coach we have selected based on our requirement and everything. Do you think fever inside the camp injury may affect the play of Kerala? I think Kerala last year, I have touched upon them. So they narrowed down their first team this season in terms of they've loaned out some players, they've sold some players in the position where they feel they have enough backup and enough depth, and they of course have the reserve team also. But everything can't go according to plan, and that's, I will come into the ISL section when I talk about sustainability versus the ambitions of the ISL clubs. What should be the aim of the ISL club? To win ISL trophy every season or to sustain themselves in the long term? So I will come on the topic, but I think Kerala last thought was they want to also narrow down their salary cap and everything, so they loan out some players which are not part of their planning for this year. They sold some players which they thought are not part of the long-term future. So I think that's how they narrowed down the squad, but the injuries did not help them, and other factors, sometimes some injuries are not in the hand of the team or the coach. It happened, and I think that's how they started struggling. If you see, Kerala also started okayish. Well, they've done good to win top 3, top 4 teams this season, but I think injuries in recent time forced them to play draw or lost some games. But I think then they have done decently well, tried their best to get the replacement in the winter window, and winter window was not easy in terms of what the market was doing in terms of transfer fee, in terms of loan fee, in terms of availability of players, so they have done okay to get Danish Farooq. Of course, he was involved in one of the own goal, I think one of the goal which Kerala has conceded, but I think he will improve Kerala Blaster, maybe not the next season, but I think they needed a body in the midfield which they got. So I think injuries have not helped them, but I think I will trust Ivan what he is doing. Finally, I can say first time in last 8 years now, Kerala Blasters looks like a settled unit. They look like a plan. What coach wants to do. They look like a plan off the pitch. What the management wants to do. Only thing there's a concern for me, and I think Kerala Blaster fans will tell me in better. I think Danish Farooq was a major first team Indian player signing by Carolis, Indian player which he has signed. So because इससे पहले जो Indian players sign करते, there was different set of team. Carroll is coming from the European market, has a hold of with the foreigners. So it was easy for him to negotiate with foreigner or get the foreigners on. I think Danish Farooq was a major first, I will say, where they got a major Indian player. So that's a challenge for him, and I think I think he's still not able to understand the market fully in terms of how the Indian player market works in India. I think once he goes in summer window, he will have his learning from the winter window. So I think that's the thing. I don't think he has signed any major Indian player. Major, I'm saying, who should straight away go to the first team of Kerala Blaster. Not coming from Goa Pro League, coming from ISL club, coming from top clubs to negotiate those moves. Will require some skill. So I think finally it's looked like he got a breakthrough in terms of the Danish Farooq deal. So which will also give him confidence to do other deals, and then let's see what he does. Next question. Sirinidhi is not a stable team. Manas promote 2 teams to ISL. Uday, I think they will promote only 1. 2 teams will decrease the quality. In my opinion, Sirinidhi आना चाहिए. उनके पास ecosystem है. Round Glass has a good ecosystem of academy football and everything. Khelo India football इनको cover करना. Munmun, I think we're doing, but the availability of data is also very issue. We have asked the PR agency and everything to send us the data, but fixtures नहीं मिलते हैं. रिजल्ट आधे अधूरे मिलते हैं, फोटोज नहीं आती, तो वील ट्राई टू फिगर आउट फॉर द बिगर गेम्स, फॉर फाइनल्स एंड एवरीथिंग टू सेंड आवर रिपोर्टर्स. बट थोड़ा सा वो इशू कोशिश कर रहे हैं करने की. कहना आईएसएल कोच भी आस्क टू मैनेज अंडर 23 टीम. आस्क तो नहीं होगा, ये द पर्सन नीड टू बी हायर्ड. ऐसा नहीं है कि फेवर कर देगा कोई कोच जाके, बिकॉज नो क्लब विल अलाउ दैट. बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट विल हैपन एट दिस स्टेज. Gokulam Kerala did a blunder for leaving their coach, such a stupid decision. And I think on Gokulam Kerala, once we are here, I will say Gokulam Kerala have built better team for I-League in past than the season which was the most important season where they could have qualified for ISL. So that's tell you about small detail in the pre-season, in the transfer window, you have to take a right decision, and that where Gokulam Kerala failed this season. I think it's not on pitch, it's beyond the pitch they have failed. Quality of football and Northeast United have improved a lot under Anis. I think he's working on it. Looks like that he, if stays for next season, will build a good team if he's supported. If he's supported in the window by Northeast management. That have taken Juan Fernando for national team coach. Let's see when the coach job curve. Juan is in and around. Will he apply for Northeast? Des Bakim should give game time to next 3 games to Gurkirat Singh. I think Des will not want to lose the form. He will not rotate a lot. He will give chances to the youngsters, but he will not change the team a lot because he wants to keep the winning momentum going in the favor. As I said, please don't repeat the question so I can take all the questions. Srinidhi Dekan capable of spending. Srinidhi Dekan is of course capable of doing spending money. Same the Round Glass Punjab. Undisputed, the KPL is doing a great as compared to the state league. They are relegation qualification. They are running properly so far now. Even Kerala Blasters young team is competing with experienced player. And I think KPL is also low hanging fruit. So there's a corporate interest in KPL. There's a broadcasting interest in KPL. There's of course the interest of fans. There's a high chance if this product is made well, there will be a 5 to 10,000 fans in every game. So I think KPL has the potential to go to the higher level in terms of state league. I still feel Mizoram League, Goa League in terms of quality have been good in recent time. The talent have come through. Let's see if Kerala Premier League can do it on the regular basis. And I think, as I said, KPL has the potential to be matching, to be best state league in India. More questions. That's I've taken KPL thing. Sir, as long we are in SAF, our football quality won't improve. Why India reluctant to move away from SAF? Genzolin, इसके पीछे there's a 2 factors. It's a politic factor. India will not leave SAF because of the central government. India leave SAF give a negative message to our neighbors, political negative message to Nepal, to Bhutan, to Bangladesh, to Sri Lanka, to Maldives, because China's influence in, and this is geopolitics, so I'm not geopolitics expert, I will tell you what I understand. China influence in this region have been increased in recent time. If India leaves SAF, that will give China, maybe China will start another regional federation. So that's a political reason India will not leave SAF, but India can go as a guest team to other tournaments. So I think we can't leave SAF. We can improve SAF. Maybe, if we can, every time when SAF take place, invite 3 to 4 guest teams. One from Europe, one from South America, one from Asia, and one from West Asia. One from Africa. 4-5 teams. Then make it more competitive. That's initiative need to take. But SAF के पास भी पैसों की कमी है. That's why it will not take place. Kerala need to take initiative like Odisha. I think Kerala can be a footballing state. As I said, Ganesh has. They should be doing it like the other states, like Manipur started doing it. Sir, your reviews for SAF Under 20 Championship, I've given the review. Is there a chance to see Indian matches in Kerala? I think they will get India matches, but I think looks like AFF will use India games in a way to lure the state governments to invest in football, So they will go to other governments, like say now they have done Manipur, they will go to Mizoram, do you commit this amount of investment in football, we will help you to bring India games to the states. So I think that's a good way to do it. That's have taken, Futsal League has started, yes, Futsal League has started. Under 22 women's team कोच चेंज करने से विक्की लाल मदन कुछ होता नहीं है, ओवरऑल इकोसिस्टम इंप्रूव होना चाहिए. चौबे शुड मीट यूपीसीएम begging for funds, सेम पार्टी का मेंबर है बोथ. I want at least see, I think Indian matches होंगे केरला में, but qualifiers आएंगे, there will be lots of home games. That's I've taken. I think most of the comments I've taken. I will come to the recent comments now. I went upstairs, ऊपर गया था देखने के लिए comments. So let me come. Who is the highest earning player in ISL? Indian player, I think with Gurpreet with a new contract is one of the highest earning Indian player. Foreigner, we have to check. I think there will be foreigners at Mumbai City FC and ATK Mohun earning good money. Wasn't Nishu Kumar signed by Skinnes by paying a huge transfer? He is a currently highest paid Indian player, more than some in the club. No, Nishu was done by the previous regime. By the time Carolis come, Nishu deal was already agreed. SED Kerala. One team, what are sustainability of ISL and IL clubs? That's the important topic, which is part of the title. I'm coming, Kumar Reddy, don't worry, I will come there. Your views on Sunil Chhetri, I think, is the legend of Indian football. I say Sunil Chhetri need to go to the club where he can play regularly. Round class Punjab he can play in Delhi, as most of the Delhi clubs are far from ISL. It can promote itself a North Indian club until other big club. For then there should not be round class Punjab, there should be round class Delhi FC then. आई थिंक इको सिस्टम ऐसे नहीं बनता है. कहीं के क्लब हो कहीं और खेल रहे हो, पंजाब के लोगों को इंटरेस्ट नहीं होगा अगर आप पंजाब का क्लब दिल्ली में खेल रहा हो. करंट बेस्ट स्टेट लीग CFL स्टेट लीग नहीं है, तो मैं नहीं बोलूंगा कि वो स्टेट लीग है. इट्स अ डिफरेंट मॉडल, कंफ्यूजिंग है, एंड 2 महीने की लीग होती है, सो इट्स नॉट द बेस्ट स्टेट लीग फॉर श्योर. In terms of the player development quality, I think Goa Pro League is there because it's a longer period league, 5 to 6, it's a 5 to 6 month league, so I will give it. Kerala Premier League is there, it's rising fast. Mizoram has a decent league in terms of overall league system, so I think Kerala Premier League is not far away. Should Santosh Trophy league, every state will play 28 games. Players कहाँ से आएंगे? Because most of the good players are playing for the I League and ISL clubs, so you want that to be Santosh Trophy. The way it is, I think it should be in a way home and away. I will say I agree, but zone wise there should be North zone, Delhi playing Haryana, Haryana playing Punjab, Punjab playing Delhi, home and away, and then your final round. Nishu contract is monster. No club will give him such a big contract now. That's why I believe we had to sell players like Stalin, Dhanachandri, Vinci, etc. ऐसा नहीं है. When Nishu joined Kerala Blaster, and remember Kerala broke this story exclusively of Nishu's deal to Kerala Blaster, and we had all the details. Nishu that time was in demand, and considering Nishu's stock was on the high, he was playing for India, he can play right back, left back, was the both feet play, can play from both feet. His injury was very bad. That took off 1 year in terms of overall recovery. बहुत hard work लगा है, hard work taken from the player side, the management side from the club and the doctors. So I think I will not say he's overpaid. Of course, overall Indian players are overpaid, which include Nishu also. They are paid 60-70% higher than their value. But that's the market, If Kerala Blaster wants to attract a big players who are in demand, they have to sometime overpay. But they are fixing it. They are making a system also. So let's see. I think when I'm coming to that topic of sustainability versus ambitious of the ISL club. Do you think Nishu should be back in national team? I think it's a good, even if he's not a first choice, second choice, right back, left back, Nishu is a good player to have in a squad because he can play in two positions at a time, like Norim Roshan. So he can give you backup at right back, left back, and he can play up front also. But I don't think so. He has done enough this season to be part of the Indian team as of now. And people know that I have liked Nishu very well from his Indian youth team days. What is the use of Santosh Trophy games playing in Saudi Arabia better than Indian national team when playing Saudi Arabian national team? ये सब promotional marketing partnership funda hai, so don't worry, it can be used. Will Vensano be given time in North? I think he should be, and I think they will give him chance. But always Northeast coaches are not sacked on the performance base; they mostly are sacked when the differences come in the transfer market. So let's see how he handle the transfer market with the management. Will there an entry fee other than promotion to ISL from FSDL side? No franchisee fee for I-League clubs who promote to the ISL. Nikhil Pujari is ahead of Nishu currently. But the Nishu, as I said, has some qualities which Nikhil don't have. But yeah, Nikhil is doing well. What about under 17 boys AFC Cup draw date? I think I'm not check. Have to check with the AFF and AFC about it. That Sahil Tavora is in talks, but nothing in advance as of now. How many age group tournaments should be the under 13, under 17 reserve team league? There's an update on reserve team league also. So I'm told the clubs have been asked to prepare a team for reserve team league. So I think we should have an update in next 10 days regarding a reserve league of ISL clubs. And Tejas says 30th March is the draw date for the under 17 team. Thank you for telling. So there are chances that we will have a reserve league this season also. And I am told, not fully confirmed, but I am told that there will be 20 games for each team in the reserve league. So home and away, that's one thing. And SED Kerala, it was said that Kerala rejected Pereira Diaz as he asked high wages, but as the time went on, pressure built, he had to sign Dimakatios for much higher wages than what Pereira wanted. I don't think so. I don't think so that Pereira Diaz kids the only thing was wages. It's more of offers and everything. I don't think so. Pereira Diaz wages at Mumbai City FC and Dimakatios wages are same at Kerala Blaster. I will say one more thing, that there's some decision Kerala Blaster sometimes forced to take in hurry because of the pressure from their fan base also. In past, I can't say just now, but in past. So I think sometimes fan pressure force clubs to take decision in hurry. So that's the thing. Can Chetri go to I-League for a popularity? I still believe Chetri should be good enough for teams like East Bengal, Northeast United, Jamshedpur FC, Odisha FC, to play. He should be good enough to play. I think I-League is still a level below for him. Igor Steve is sitting in home, far away, not coming to stadium matches. How can we see that he is in serious? उसके लिए budgets वगैरह चाहिए. So if he wants to even watch, how do AFF has enough budget to fly him home every for? I don't know. So we don't know. Is his choice to not watch, or is the choice of the system for him not to allow to watch? Because you have to remember also, this AFF new regime doesn't have all the funds available to them. The financial year is closing. March 31st is the last day for this financial year. That next financial year will happen, and then they will have more hands in the funds in their hand to do stuff. Says a 5-tier system. Vedant, can you just give an idea what 5-tier system you're talking about? Will FC Goa go for a replacement for Anwar Ali? They are likely to go for a replacement. I think Nikhil Prabhu, which they have signed, it's a way to check that is he good enough for the system in this next 1.5-year deal which they have signed with him. And of course there are some players in mind. Will AFC Asian Cup organized in July 2023 or Jan 2024 will be the date for the AFC Asian Cup. But Rajasthan FC playing in Delhi got more match attendance than Sirindi Deccan. As I same as Sirindi Deccan does not have a crowd. As I said, I-League clubs are there who will get a better crowd than Sirindi Deccan and Rajasthan United. Delhi is an underrated football venue. Ambedkar Stadium, and if you guys remember my podcast with Saji Prabhakaran before he became the General Secretary, I discussed the Ambedkar Stadium issue on this channel. You can watch that podcast. And he told me that time that he wants to meet, he has taken a date with the Lieutenant Government of Delhi, LG, to talk about Ambedkar Stadium development. If Ambedkar Stadium can be converted into a modern football stadium, 10,000 की अगर कैपेसिटी बना के बनाया जाए, like a Cooperage, like a Mumbai Football Arena, which is a modern football stadium, it might be one of the best football viewing stadium in India. And then our Delhi clubs come from Delhi, they will definitely get an average attendance of 5 to 10,000 easily if they can do a proper marketing, reach out to old Delhi people. Because I have seen Ambedkar Stadium, आप जाओगे कोई random match चल रहा होगा, तब भी वहाँ पे you will get a 500 to 1,000 people watching that match. Is the deal for Norim Mesh permanent loan? Yeah, I think he left Kerala Blaster if I remember correctly. SAD Kerala. If I have to just check, but I thought that he left permanently. Why BCCI not purchasing? I have a funny question. What's the catch? The comments are going fast. Let me just go up. SAF presence in Nepal could not find any broadcaster. Only broadcaster agreed only if SAF is hosted by India. AFF unofficially agreed to host India. I have to check on that. You know, and a broadcaster wali India, if don't play in SAF, that means there is no sponsors in SAF. Why will he go select Chetri based on season performance? I think he will be selected. I don't think the Sunil Chetri will drop by Eagles team match. What's the catch with Churchill and changing the coaches? Sometime at Churchill, you know, the owners feels they know more than the coaches, you know, so they sack coaches. I was there in one of the Goa Pro League match. Churchill was playing, and I remember owners telling the coach and the owner's friends on the जो family बैठी है क्लब के, वो कोच को बता रहे हैं इस प्लेयर को हटा के इस प्लेयर को डालो, and the coach is doing the same. So ये होता है, you know, it's a family run club, so the decisions are taken like that. What happened to Liston performance? I think there's a one, Fernando has told a detail about Liston and Hugo form has dipped, have a negative impact on the team overall. So I think you should read it, but I think it's a dip in the form, I will say. Thoughts on Delhi FC, Minerva Academy, Techno, all playing in Futsal League, aren't they owned by one guy? I don't know, it's a very complex ownership structure, you know, I don't know what they're trying to do. Yeah, so new Tier 5 system, Vedant jo sawal pooch rahe hain. So I think Tier 1 top league is ISL. The second league is, of course, I-League. Then there will be League 2, which is second division. Then I think they are going to make a Tier 4 league, which will be regional leagues. North India League, South India League. Then there will be 5th tier, which is State League. And it's a good way to go it. I think regional Champions League बना देनी चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से. The regional जो 4th tier है, it should call regional Champions League, Northeast Champions League, where Northeast clubs, top 4 clubs from each state should play home and away. Same way there should be North India Champions League, there should be South Indian Champions League, there should be West Indian Champions League, and there should be East Indian or Central East Indian Champions League, you know. And that's how you play our top 4 clubs from each league, home and away, group stage games, home knockout game, and you know that will give you a more fan engagement program. Now let's come to the main topic, and I think thoughts on Simon Grayson will leave, and I think is most likely to leave. I think Villain. BFC could win ISL, I feel, says Munman, and kind of chance. Can you name few players who caught your eye, who may debut for India upcoming series? I think that's good. Aditya Kumar, that's the last question I'm taking on the national team. Then we'll move towards sustainability versus ambitious. Ka topic jo I have thought, because many owners, Saji Prabhakaran, many people are talking about it in everywhere. So let's commit. Last question: that who should be the players for the who can debut, who should be called up at least to the camp? Shiva Shakti Narayan, I think, should be first player straight away. I think second will be Akash Sangwan for me. I think he has done enough overall. Let me open the sheet. I think also which I created last time, you know, and I think you guys also. Let me open it. And I also put it on view for you guys. If let me check. I think I've selected a team. Let me see if I have to change that. Okay, let me interact and do this. Fix this. Give me 1 second. I think this was the team which we selected the last time. I think overall I will say Royam has been called up in past, so that should be the first call up for him. I think I will definitely Shiva Shakti Narayan will be my straight away choice to who should be called up, you know. उसके अलावा थी ऋत्विक दास, नंदा कुमार शेखर, आकाश सांगवान, I will say Mehtab at Mumbai City FC. These are 4-5 players which I should be part of at least the camp. For personally, I think they have done enough to be part of the camp. And I think remaining players you have to build upon what you have. which have the players who have been playing for India. And I think Igor Stimac will be very happy that Brendan and Sahel have started coming into to do more in the games. He will be very happy with the form of Jixon and Apuya. Suresh Singh form has been dipped. So we did, I selected Andrew Thapa based on the fans' comment last week. We switched Andrew Thapa and Suresh Singh. But Suresh Singh form have been critical for Bengaluru FC also. So I think there can be one position if you remove Suresh Singh, if you remove Andrew Thapa, another midfielder can come in if Igor Stimac want there. So I think the Rohit Kumar can be another player who can be called up for the Indian team. So these are the some players I think which should be part of it. So now let's know Glenn Martins. I personally feel that Apuya, Jixon, Suresh, Thapa are four good midfielders which India can build upon in for future. And I feel that personally I will not keep Glenn Martins. I don't know, he's a great player, but for me I think there is higher ceiling with Apuya, Thapa, Suresh, Jixon than the Glenn Martins, and Rohit Kumar, of course, is one player which can be. Rainer Fernandez is another player, I think, but he's a part of the Indian team already in past, so it will be not a maiden call-up for him. I think there will be article on Khelna coming up on the maiden call-up very soon. Sunil Chowdhury should be paid highest salary. He is a legend of football in our country. What's your take on this? I think he should be, but that should not be. That should be the hand of the club. I think it's based on the demand. If the player is in demand, he will be paid the highest salary. Ishan Pandita, I have not selected. I think India should be looking to play a mobile forward up front like a Shiv Shakti Narayan, who can play either of the wing. But I think Shan Pandita has not done enough for me to be called up in this team. We are already calling Sunil Chhetri, so you can't call two players out of form. Norim Mahesh Singh, for example, he's in the list for me. Can be also called up. Is Chhetri contract being expired? I have to check exact date, Sandeep. But I think let's come to the sustainability versus ambitious. And this is to the you guys. I think all in the chat we have fans from each and every club, and that's a question which fans need to understand this, it's not easy to compete with ATK Mohun Bagan, no Norim, lol, Norim is Sarim. So Mahesh, you can call him Mahesh, East Bengal winger Mahesh. There is then Norim Singh also at Bengaluru FC, and of course Northeast. The issue is not issue, but Northeast, for example, Manipuri use Singh as a middle name. Then there's other state which Singh as a last name. So sometime for me is also tough to understand. But by the time I start knowing player, I will know that which player has the middle name, what, and that will be easier. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, we're coming to sustainability versus ambitious topic. Should a club be right now ambitious to win ISL trophy, or club should be thinking about long-term sustainability aim? If you ask me, my straightaway answer should be sustainability. But I think communication from the club should be open, and I think it's a great thing. Slowly owners like Nikhil at Kerala Blaster, I forget FC Goa at Ravi, not Ravi, the Tandon Akshay at FC Goa. Now we have seen recently Chennai FC owner Veena Dani also coming on Twitter Twitter giving her thoughts. They started opening up. They started talking with the fans through social media, and I will say sustainability is important because club should be thinking like that they don't want to fold up. They don't want to shut the shop in 5 years. They should think, and this is I'm a startup guy. I'm also running a startup company. We have a limited funds. So my thinking when I'm running this company is always that if I have 100 rupees, should I spend that 100 rupee in one day, or should I spend that 100 rupees in next 10 days, 1 year, or next 2 years? It's budget basically. So if ISL clubs have a budget of 30 crores, they have a 30 crores in hand right now. Should they spend those 30 crores in one season and try to win ISL trophy, which also depend on external factors like other clubs, match result, injuries, or they spend the 30 crores in a way that will make them sustainable club, that will make them to get more talents for next 5 years? I will go with the second approach if you ask me. That's one thing. Second thing, then there are fans pressure. Fans will say our club is not ambitious. They are not giving transfer fee. They are not giving big fees. We are not here to compete. I think, but sometimes the limitation fans need to understand. Let's take an example of Premier League now. Premier League clubs When Chelsea came with the big money, they started buying players. City came, they started buying players. You know, uh, the clubs at Premier League, they have a good money, by the way. Of course, the budgets are different, but they get a good money from the overall the league money which they get. Their aim is not to compete with Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City. The clubs they tired to, for example, Brighton. Let's take an example of Brighton case study. Their idea is to sustain themselves on a longer run, and then build a team in a way in a long term to compete for top four, top six, spots. So I think the sustainability point for me is very important. And Liverpool is also a big club. I'm not saying, but I'm just can take few names. But sustainability is important. So the clubs in the next जो top 6 clubs हैं उसके अलावा जो 14 clubs बचते हैं, 14 clubs are not trying to compete with top 6 clubs. They are thinking, of course, some club did try it. West Ham, Everton, in between, when they tried to bought everything, whenever every player they want. The owners came. They thought they can straight away, compete with these clubs for big player signing. Didn't work out. They did give them a short-term success, but then they're not able to sustain. Since then, Everton have come close to relegation now. West Ham come close to relegation. But club like, for example, Brighton, who are building on slowly, they're sustaining themselves. Even they're selling the player. They have now somehow, made them into top half club now this season. So I think for me now, club like, for example, Kerala Blaster, big fan following, big fan pressure to compete for trophies. And I think sometimes club is under pressure because of fans want them to take particular decision. And then people say that Kerala Blaster have so much crowd, ticket revenues there, but they have to understand the expenses to do ISL game. Kerala Blaster does not own the stadium. They does not own the police. They have to pay taxes. They have to pay entertainment taxes. They have to pay Kerala police. They have to pay stadium authority for stadium. So organizing an ISL game is not an easy thing for a club, and that's what I think, that sustainability is important. So Kerala Blaster long-term aim should be, can they finally get their own stadium? Can they finally reach out to Kerala government, get a land in a lease for next 100 years and build a stadium, mini stadium there, where they can have initially they can have a 25 to 30,000 stadium in it, and then do a 5-year plan to upgrade that stadium to 50,000. So build a architect, build a design in a way. First start with 30,000, then 60,000, and then maybe slowly you can expand that to the but the architect in a way, it should be in a way that it should be easy to expand in future. So that should be approach. So that's how, if they have their own stadium, that's how they will remove that expenses from the books of the stadium revenue, stadium taxes, rent and everything. Then they can get a private security, for example. That's how the European clubs do. The police is only there for outside stadium. Police does not get involved in the inside the stadium in Europe. So I think that's one way to do it. And as SCD Kerala says, experience for Kerala Blaster stadium is very bad as a cricket stadium. Now the government is building another cricket stadium in Kochi. I think proper football stadium should be made. And that's where the government and private partnership need to come. And I think Kerala Blaster is like a club who can have everything to sustain themselves, but then there is a pressure on them to be ambitious enough for the ISL trophy, because the club also want, fans also want them to win ISL trophy. So that's where they are in the between of these two things. How they can do it? I think by minimizing the expenses, by making sure they limit their budget on the first team, build on their youth teams, grassroots program, so they don't need to buy Indian players for bigger amount. That's one thing that's they can do, but it's a long-term target. So they have to start doing more stuff at the youth level. They have been doing it, but if Kerala Blaster did this from very first date, they would have not need to spend this amount of money first team right now. But at least they have started doing it. Clubs should try to lease the stadium 30-40 years from government, but that's the thing. There's not a football stadiums are available to lease. Ambedkar Stadium is there, for example. A club in Delhi can they take a lease? Ambedkar Stadium is possible. Mumbai Football Arena is kind of now part with the Mumbai Football Club. They have been using it, they have been doing it. So I think that's the way to do it. that either you leased out these stadiums on the longer run, do a partnership and then allow government to do more projects. You have to, so government aapko aise stadium bhi degi, you have to do something for the government. So I think big state government has a big role to play, big role to play, develop football in India, not the central government, because central government will not build these stadiums. If the state government have to come and build the stadium. Another model can be the private companies, corporates, big corporates. Can they be more responsible to develop football? So CSR model can be used in a way to develop football. Which is an example I will give you is an example of Zinc Football Academy. It's a CSR project of Hindustan Zinc. They have been doing very well. So that's a perfect example. If a corporate group there are lots of CSR money in India, is serious about sport, particularly football, can do a CSR model with the AFF, to grow football in their state where they're based out of, can be a good way. Another way is, can a football club with a private company do a CSR model? There's an example of GSW. Their Vijayanagar facilities for multi-sports they have. In a way, they have not rented out, but sponsorship wise, they have given some, I think there's some golf or the particular sports arena is now sponsored by Kotak Mahindra. So this is another way to, these partnership clubs can do. For example, Kerala Blasters, they can, get in talks with the local business corporates at Kerala to help them to build academy, for example, and they can give the naming rights of the academy to that particular corporates. So I think these clubs have to figure out a way to make sure their sustainability is there. If we continue the system of renting public stadium, we will not be financially stable like Italian club who went and rent public stadium. And I think that's where the Premier League clubs, they went in a way from very early days. Excuse me. Very early days. To give an example, the rivalry between Liverpool and Everton is because of the stadium. The Anfield Stadium where it's because of the stadium, and the Premier League clubs owns their own stadium. So that's how every Premier League club, even for example, some club don't own it. I think there was an example of some clubs in the lower level, they don't own it, but they have leased this stadium for longer period. That's how they're minimizing their expenses in terms of expenses. Why Jamshedpur FC not spending? ऐसा नहीं है कि Jamshedpur FC ने spend नहीं किया है. Jamshedpur FC own their stadium by Tata Group, so it's the parent group owns it. It's Tata's property. ऐसा नहीं है Jamshedpur has not spent the money. Sometime you are all the when you play the chess, for example, not all the moves not same moves not every time is going to bring you checkmate. मतलब एक strategy आपकी हर season नहीं चलेगी. To give an example, so Jamshedpur FC thought that one strategy I've given them a league shield, they might repeat it. So they have spent money in past, but it's a how to say, Tata Group is very Tata Group is very in terms of spending, they are very careful. They don't just spend money like other businesses in India. It's have been very word I'm missing, जिम्मेदार बोलते हैं हिंदी में. They are very जिम्मेदार in terms of their money they spend, because the group in a way, it's one of the most trusted business group in India. So spending is not that easy there. You can't just go and say I want to sign this player for 5 crores. They will not going to get approval from their whoever is taking those decisions. So they have to be very smart with it. They have to be very smart with the their approach. But I think thing for them is that the spending wise, money wise, it's not getting over. So agar they conservative, if they're spending a less amount, they are thinking a long term. They don't want to. They're not here to win every ISL trophy like ATK Mumbai, Mumbai City FC. They want to sustain themselves. They have their own stadium. They want to build an ecosystem around their football and in the city of Jamshedpur. And I think they have shown last season by winning League Shield that they can get a success. It just this season it has not worked out, and they are also should we say lucky. Some clubs relegation. So once the relegation come, then it will be these clubs will be in trouble. And Wareham AFC has leased the stadium. They have a nice documentary on Hotstar. Sanish Naik, and there's some more documentaries on these. And I have went to various countries. I went to Germany, I went to France, met lots of clubs at the lower tier. As I was telling, I think पिछले episode में I was in Switzerland and I was seen that every town, the government authority of a town, जो एक तालुका होता है हमारे यहाँ बोलते हैं, there's a village पंचायत और नगर निगम बोलते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल नगर निगम इज नोन, पंचायत इन विलेजेस, तालुका इन साउथ इंडिया एंड गोवा इट्स नोन एज, have their own stadium which is owned by the local authority, and every club are using that, particular local club. So I think that's the ultimate game. For me, I think if Kerala Blasters, if Hyderabad FC, if these clubs are looking for long term, I think it's not a bad thing. Fans have to understand that, will they want to see winning an ISL trophy and then five years down the line shutting down the club? Are they okay to it? I think that's the thing, And ISL is going through a phase now which I-League went through, which NFL went through. NFL and I-League, when they came, they got a good success in first few years. ISL have a great success in terms of fan engagement, in terms of the fans and everything. Now is the important phase, the phase of sustainability. To give an example, Delhi Dynamos in first few seasons have lost 45 crores of money in single season. Now some clubs have come closer to lost around 15 to 20 crores or less than that. So they are moving towards sustainability, and I think that should be the idea, the sustainability in longer term. And I think if FC Goa is thinking about that, if Kerala Blasters is thinking about that, it's not a bad. It's just that they have to be smart when they're building their team. Their foreign signing should be perfect. There should be no risk of players who has a question mark on their fitness. They have to sign a fit players. They sign a player with a good injury record because they have focusing on sustainability. So they can't take a risk of signing a foreign player, then releasing him with in 6 months, giving him money, then signing another player, which few clubs have done in ISL in past. So I think for sustainability model, it's not just the stadium, it will come with the transfer, it will come with the long-term contracts, it will come through youth academies, it will come to reserve teams. So there are lots of factors. It will come through fan engagement. So everything is important when talk about sustainability. What do you want to be national team coach after AFC if Stimac is your opinion? And will the new coach have enough time to prepare for the next World Cup qualifiers? I think Albert Roca, if he is available, I think should be a definite choice for. He knows Indian football, he knows Indian players, and he's shown success in India already. But can he do it with 11 Indian players on the pitch? That's a big question. So I think Albert Roca, if he's running for it, should be choice. I think I will try. I think time has come for India. Maybe think about an Asian coach. A coach from Japan or South Korea or Vietnam or Australia, maybe an Asian coach with the Asian football experience. I think as time has come, we don't need a European right now. We need a coach who understands Asian football. Is 2 to 3 crores the max a foreigner gets in ISL? No. Del Piero used to get way more than that. So 2 to 3 crores is kind of a average salary for a top foreigner now. There are players who will get more than 3 crores with the bonuses, with some easy to achieve bonuses to get around with the salary cap. That's the thing. Current, I think it's not a max. Some players are above 3 crores, but I think you can say it's average money. Top foreigners in ISL who are getting now. Top foreigners, I would say tier 1 foreigners, not tier 1 plus foreigners, like a best foreigners. Steamats get 3 crores a year. AFF total budget for a year is 88 crores. So that's different, The Steamac money comes from Sai. Sai is not going to approve 10 crores a year salary for a national team coach with not qualifying for the World Cup or the Asian Games medal and everything. Legacy clubs should have exited for more than 100 years and still not sustainable. Do they have a system of bringing local players? What can be ISL club differently for them? They don't have a system. Sadly, Mohun Bagan had a sale academy. I don't know what's the status, what ATK has done with that. East Bengal used to have academy. No status, nothing is about. So how do they of course, Kolkata, the football is more than anything. It's a life, more than life for us. So it's more of a sometimes ego battle between the officials to build a team. They put their own money. There were lots of scam around the football clubs sometime in past. So I think what the clubs can do, what they can learn from these legacy club from the 100 years of experience is build an academy, build a new system, and don't आपके fans हमको forgotten मत लो. Don't think fans will be there always with us. Always, of course, East Bengal Mohun fans have been with them, but if you see East Bengal is not getting a crowd on the stadium. Of course, they're playing bad, but they're not getting a crowd. They used to get a crowd earlier, when they used to play bad in I League, for example. But it's because the management, the officials fighting with them, so they kind of, thought ki fans to aa jayenge. So I think fan engagement is also a very important part. That's one. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are a big fan base. They have never taken the merchandise seriously, never. And biggest club in the world have merchandise as a big revenue stream in the fan engagement program. I think that's a small example which the other Indian clubs can learn from these clubs, that you have to do fan engagement for the fans to engage with you in terms of merchandise, ticketing, social media content and everything. I don't know how many names they have changed, social media pages they have changed, shut down. East Bengal, there are different pages. Now this season this will be the official page, next season there will be different Facebook page. There are lots of confusion, and that's where the fan engagement part has gone down for these clubs. Why don't any big consortium buy Indian club with such a big potential audience business? I think right now the cricket, of course, is the big sport, getting good success. The brands wants to get involved there. That's one thing. Second thing, sports like kabaddi have shown that you can make sustainability, and that's why kabaddi is a quick sport. Kabaddi doesn't require the investment like the football, for example. So it's easy for brands to go and invest in kabaddi, and to get sustainability. So they try to replicate same model in Kho and other leagues now. Football is a sport. Unlike IPL also, it's need more money in terms of from the owner side, because stadiums, foreign players, training pitches, youth development. ISL में कुछ नहीं होता है. IPL में IPL clubs don't have to do anything about maintaining stadiums, building training pitches. It's they are already in the ecosystem of cricket. They don't need to think about youth teams and everything. They are now started thinking about academies and everything, but they don't have any criteria like AFC criteria, AFF criteria to fulfill. So I think that's the reason. Why don't ISL do an all-star match with the big clubs to increase the revenue? I think it can be done. A thought on Sanju Samson joining. I think Sanju Samson have been faced of Kerala sports, and I think it's a good way to connect with Kerala audience who love cricket. And if they can, this is the fan engagement part I was talking about. So if via Sanju Samson they can do, the Kerala Blaster can increase their average attendance by 5,000. So it's not a bad move for Kerala Blaster. So I think that's the thing. Yeah, as ISL match has started, that's the thing. The stream should be stopped. Let us watch ATK Mohun Jamshedpur FC. I will meet you guys again 6:30 next week. 6 p.m. next week in this show. 55% feels Roundgrass Punjab, 207 votes. Sadly, not 207 likes have come. So if you're watching till now, do hit the like button. I will meet, not much in terms of the news this episode, but it's important for us to continue this show every week to clear our doubts, to discuss stuff which we want to. So I think hopefully next week we'll have some news. There will be news about some Indian players who are on the move, who are in the last 6 months of the contract. So they're going to sign pre-contract with the other ISL teams. Prediction for ATK Mohun Jamshedpur, I think it looks like ATK Mohun will be winning it, but Jamshedpur FC will want to get something out of this game. How much ISL manager earning per season? Also I-League manager. ISL manager salaries are from 1 to 3 crores. I-League manager salary mostly are around 80 to 30 lakh rupees. Depends on which clubs, how they're doing it. What is the Field of Dream started by FC Goa? Field of Dream is a program where FC Goa is helping maintaining and making football pitches in each and every taluka of Goa. So it's a CSR program. So I think of course we'll give more details in the next week video. So I think, do ISL clubs owners make profit? No, they don't make profit. So, and thank you guys. Let's meet next week. If you guys want to send me advance questions, and let me just answer 2 questions by Arkesh V. Kumar, because वो आए नहीं I think, but I will answer his question. He asked about Bangalore Football Stadium. Bangalore Football Stadium, and that can JSW and Karnataka Football Association rebuild the Bangalore Football Stadium, because there is a fight for Sri Kananthaviriya Stadium, which is an athletic stadium between the Bangalore FC, Karnataka FA and Athletic Federation of Karnataka and the government also. Bengaluru FC get an access to Kananthaviriya Stadium only for match day and match day -1, so they can't use it for training purposes, for example, and there are other events going on. So there's a tussle between all these federation between that, who can use Sri Kananthaviriya Stadium, So now there's a stadium in Bangalore which is Bangalore Football Stadium, where Bangalore FC made their debut. It's a football centric stadium. Since 2013-14 when Bangalore FC played there, there is always talk of rebuilding it. There are lots of tenders come out. There's a controversy. There's a case going on in the court to figure out that how this stadium can be, renovated. But वो case close नहीं हुआ है. So that's the bigger issue. Yes, JSW and Karnataka FA can rebuild it, but I think it's a bit complicated as the case is going on that stadium, and it's since 6 years, I think 7 साल हो गए, 7 years हो गए since that case is still going on. So I think that's the major problem with that stadium. Once the case is sorted out, I think JSW can take that stadium on a long-term lease and rebuild it. As I said, that's the club should be focusing on. Should you contacted by yeah, I think I'm fine with Instagram, Twitter. 7 Negi Ashish is my ID. You guys can contact me through you guys can send me a topic in advance, which I will answer, like I've answered for Arkesh V. Kumar right now. 7 Negi Ashish. Does FIFA has its own football stadium? Nope. They have some access to Kupre Stadium, but they don't have own football stadium. So guys, that's it. We'll talk, next week about the more topics. You can send me a topic on 7 Negi Ashish. There are social media account of Khel Now on the description tab. You should follow it. Will help it. Visit khelnow.com for the latest news, press conferences. There's an exclusive interview of Sandesh Jingan which you can read on khelnow.com about his European exposure in Croatia, how tough for him, where he is now, national team goals and everything exclusively on khelnow.com. So thank you for watching. I will see you again next week, 6 p.m. Thursday in another episode of Inside Indian Football.